So if you're like us and you're thinking, man, Hawaii, no way, it's gonna cost way, way too much money. Turns out after we got here, there are a lot of things you can do that don't cost an arm and a leg, and you can still make all kinds of memories while you're in Hawaii.
We're Marissa, Nathan, Hensley, and JJ. After living in our RV for 6 years, we're taking a 10-week adventure detour to visit our 50th state of Hawaii. Life is a journey. Let go and get going. With 6 years of full-time travel now under our belt, over time, we've learned ways to be able to travel, but also to save money and find some really inexpensive things to do while traveling.
We're gonna show you guys 5 places or 5 different sort of things you can do in Hawaii. The first of which is one of our favorites, and it has been epic. Epic on Oahu is hiking. Three Peaks is one we did for our anniversary. That's an awesome hike. But one you could do with a stroller. I think we saw more strollers than people. Was like the Lighthouse Trail. Beautiful view of the lighthouse. You get these incredible, practically 360 views in Hawaii.
Still straight up.
It's still up. It's still a bit of a hike. I guess that's the theme.
We passed all ages on that hike.
Now, one that's kind of in between the crazy hikes and the simple hikes, and probably the most popular hike, I would say on Oahu, is going to be Diamond Head. Hensley, look at that. Look at the crater.
So see right here, this is where we are. Isn't that cool?
So when you think of Hawaii, and especially being on Oahu, Diamond Head is like one of the most iconic hikes to come do. Wow, look at this. This is just the first lookout before we head up there.
If we did a zip line, that would be epic.
A zip line? Yeah, that would be pretty epic. Highlights. You can see the outline of the crater from up here.
It's crazy.
Wow. I wish it could have.
Well, now I can see why this hike is as popular as it is.
It's crazy.
Go bar trap.
360 view, man.
This is incredible. Totally worth this trek up. It's like this panoramic view. You got the city, you got the water, you got this crater. This is incredible.
One that's kind of optional, that's on Marissa's bucket list. I don't know if you want to talk about this. We have a love-hate with this hike now.
So when we started researching the RV lifestyle, I started putting together a bucket list of everything I wanted to do as we traveled and saw the world. And I came across a hike called Stairway to Heaven in Hawaii. And I was totally bummed out when I found out that Stairway to Heaven is illegal. So I had marked it off our list for so long and was really, really bummed, even though I've seen pictures of it for years and years taunting me in its glory and beauty. When we got to Hawaii, I realized that there is a legal way to see the stairs. It's illegal to be on the stairs, but there is another valley trail that's pretty intense. It's going to be about 10.5 miles round trip up this mountain, but we are going to see those stairs.
There's 2 things to watch out for in this hike. If nothing else, there's the obvious ones like bring water, bring snacks. You want to make sure you have shoes with really good tread, and you want to make sure you don't go in the rain.
And of course, in our 30 days here, it has not rained until today, but it's our last day to give it a try. So here goes 10 years of my dreams.
We start the hike, we walk, and the rain gets heavier and heavier.
The more up
and
we
heavier.
go.
I was just saying, at least it stopped actively raining. All right, here we go. It's looking beautiful up there, babe. 50-foot line of sight here. Look at that view. And then we get to the point of the hike where it starts to turn into more maybe mud and mush, and it gets slicker and slicker. And Marissa, bless her heart, but she did not check her trail running shoes that she wears to hike in.
Note to self, don't go into Hawaii thinking, oh, I'm just gonna wear my old shoes so that they'll get muddy and ruined, and then I'll just, you know, discard those shoes. That did not work out.
So the issue with the rain is not just that we're getting wet, is that it makes the trail muddy. And if you're doing steep inclines on a ridge in the wind and it's muddy, it does make it harder.
I mean, there's a good 100-foot section. It's solid mud. There's no rope. The only way you're getting up this section is with tread on your shoes, because you're digging in with your toes. There's nothing to grab with your hands. There's no like even army crawling. Like you have to get tread on your shoes, you push up a little bit. Tread on your shoes, you push up. Because it's mud, it's not even rock. I got you. And it starts raining and pouring and almost mudsliding, I guess, where the water and the mud's coming down, and you're having to like get on all fours and try to let it go down between you.
Because at this point, we had done some serious hiking.
We're 4+ miles in at this point, so we're almost
there.
Within a mile of the top. But as a group, we came to a consensus: this is not going to continue. Best case scenario, we do get all the way to the top in the rain, in the wind. And then, because there's insane wind on this mountain, like insane. Like
at one point, I thought that somebody in our group pushed me, and I looked back and was like, "Why'd you push me?" And it was the wind. That's how hard it felt, like someone just shoved me. It was time to abort mission.
Oh my goodness. Don't go in the rain.
It's a bad idea.
Don't do it. Stairway to Heaven 1, less junk, more journey 0. Please take the battery out.
Never have we given up on a hike and not made it to the top. And rarely do we ever slip and fall or anything, but we all slipped and fell at some point on this hike. It was so muddy, just trying to come down this mountain.
I hurt my knee. I've been hobbling.
So Stairway to Heaven...
It kicked our tail.
Kicked our tails. Of course, if you want to hike to near-death experiences, those are free.
Yes.
Most of those. I think Diamond Head costs maybe $10 to park and $5 per person. So it does cost a little bit, but in the big picture of Hawaii and cost, not much. The other hikes, free. Another thing that's free beyond hiking, that's an experience. So there's a Buddhist temple, and it's a remake of a temple, I think it's in Japan, that we checked out. And it was an experience.
It's so beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen a replica of a temple before, so.
Or a real temple.
Or a real one. So this is the closest I've ever gotten. But the kids are loving it. Do you like it? He's mesmerized by that bell over there. This place is, as the kids say, I'm gonna steal their joke, it's beautiful. You're ringing the bell.
What's a bell say?
What's a bell say?
That's a beep beep.
So this temple is not actively used as a Buddhist temple. They do have, I think, maybe like weddings and ceremonies and that kind of thing. And then obviously you can come in and you can tour it if you want to. Now, one thing you can do in Hawaii that's, for the most part, completely free, you might have to pay for parking at the most, is check out the beaches. Oh my goodness, the beaches, because you've got the sand, the water, the snorkeling. Some of the beaches that are free, we went to one that we would call more of a local beach. It was Mermaid Caves.
Look at the locals, man. That's what I'm talking about. So this is more of a local beach, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's off
Than
the
like near
beaten.
Waikiki and stuff.
Yeah, it's off the beaten path, so.
This is great.
You know you're in a good spot when all the locals are here. Make sure you go at low tide if you want to check out the caves, because at high tide you are not able to access the cave.
We didn't go into the caves. I don't know, it was kind of in between. High tide was starting to come in, but there were people down in the caves playing. We appreciate Kevin and Alicia. If you get to know people that they're not necessarily local, but they do have the ability to have a boat here in Hawaii. So we went out with them on a boat to a sandbar, and this sandbar was massive. It was between the military base.
Magical.
Yes, it was between the military base and like Chinaman's Hat, I think was the name of the island. But you just have this, I don't even know how many acres of sandbar to play, to run, to swim, and you've got the most epic, we've done some sandbars before, the most epic backdrop ever, I would say. You're looking
and do you
at
know
the
what
open
made
ocean,
it even more stunning? Do you know what made it
shirt
even
off?
What made it? Yeah. Wearing that flamingo floaty.
You actually were going there.
Yes. You in a pink flamingo floaty against the mountain backdrop and the clear blue water.
It was magical.
It was.
The family we're with, Jeremiah, one of their kids said he saw, how do you describe that creature in the water? Should we go there?
Yeah, we didn't even realize it until we started looking at the footage, all the stuff he was
he
finding.
He took GoPro footage and was saying, wow, there's some really dangerous, creepy,
like
possibly poisonous.
A demon stinger?
We're like, oh, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking? And we got back and watched the GoPro footage. And yeah, there's some crazy stuff in the sand out there that we're just walking around in. And now one stop beach-wise that did cost a little bit of money, and there's all kinds of other beaches beyond this. We're
tons
not
of free,
all the beaches. Yeah.
Tons of free snorkeling in beaches everywhere you go in Hawaii. But Hanauma Bay is one of the top snorkel places in the country, some say even the world. And you do need a reservation for this. Very affordable. It was $12 for an adult and children under 12 for free.
Possibly the biggest, most popular, practically free thing you could do in Hawaii, Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor is very educational. It's such a huge part of our country's history and the world's history.
So the Japanese designed a special bomb. It was armor piercing. These are the ones they dropped from above. And then these are the torpedoes they use that would come down, hit the water, and go down below. So this is just the rear section of a 20-foot torpedo that was actually used in this battle. This is FDR's first draft to Congress declaring war against Japan.
Everything was just perfectly aligned that day. I mean, after going through the museum, you would hear all these different stories about maybe if that would have been different or if that story would have went differently.
Well, the radar technology was a new technology. And so they did see things on the radar, but they thought that was their own planes coming in, which was a mixture of our planes. So
there was some planes from California that they were expecting. So they knew there were ships coming in. They were changing shifts. They were teaching new people the skill. And it was just all these things in motion that kind of, got them off radar.
And the Japanese knew this. They're using the mountains for cover to avoid a lot of the radar too once they get close. They knew that on a Sunday morning, there were not usually air patrol in the area. They knew where all the airfields were and they hit those first. They knew where the battleships were probably going to be. They knew all those things. It was well planned out.
They didn't expect it to be by air either.
No, the United States did not expect it to be by air. So this is why Pearl Harbor was such an awesome place to keep. To come in from the water was like nearly impossible, but unexpected as it was to come in through the air, it worked. They were not expecting it.
It's a time of honor. It's a time of respect. it's also a time of reflection too, because you're asking, what can we learn from the past?
But you think about what you could have with this attack in Pearl Harbor in 1941. You could have a father who had been through World War I, who went through the Spanish flu, who is either possibly still in the Army or maybe retired or not anymore, but could possibly be seeing their child be a part of World War II. It's just eye-opening. It really is, to come and see things like this and get a bigger picture of how maybe we think things are tough versus what they went through. It's just crazy.
Pearl Harbor is free for anyone to check out and to take the ferry out to the USS Arizona Memorial. It is $1 reservation fee if you book ahead of time online. The memorial is beautifully done.
So we're about to board a ferry to go see the USS Arizona Memorial. Pretty sure it's the only battleship that was still left sunk. And it by far had the most casualties of any. I think almost 1,200 people died on that battleship. Not necessarily even because of the torpedoes that hit the battleship, but because of everything on board that it just blew up. There's still 900-ish people resting peacefully, entombed in the USS Arizona. As you can see, where the Arizona was and it sank is literally, of course, right where it's at right now.
So this is what it looks like from a bird's eye view. So you can see the memorial is built on top of the ship.
As you visit the memorial, you'll notice also 2 smaller walls in the shrine room. 44 names. Those are survivors, sailors, and Marines who survived the attack. They went on to live long lives. Their ashes were interred aboard the ship itself alongside their shipmates. So today, the USS Arizona is not only a memorial, a cemetery, but also an active cemetery. Our last interment was in 2015. You're gonna see the remains of the battleship. You're gonna see and smell oil today. That oil has been leaking from the ship for nearly 80 years. We still estimate that there's 500,000 gallons of oil aboard the ship.
Seeing all these names just makes it so personal and real, because I just know that every one of them was somebody's little boy. Just makes you want to hold them tighter.
And last on our list of things in Oahu, Hawaii that you can do that don't cost an arm and a leg, the Botanical Gardens. So there are multiple Botanical Gardens in Oahu, Hawaii. One of our favorites, and it was totally free. We'll put the name here on the screen. It was unexpectedly awesome.
Go, Marissa, go. You're nailing it. Nailing it.
So this Botanical Gardens, one of the awesome shots to get is the entrance in. So we got here before it opened so that we could have no cars, and he let us come in and like grab our shots before the cars come in.
Whoa, what is that?
Birds of paradise.
Oh, wow.
That's what we thought the lobster we were mistaking them. Oh,
Sexy pink.
that is hilarious.
Who come up with these names?
I didn't bring.
When Marissa told me we were going to Botanical Gardens, I thought, we've been to Botanical Gardens before in the mainland. It's pretty, but it's stuff I've probably seen before, just kind of in a more, maybe a prettier state or a prettier area. But so far, it's really cool because you're seeing stuff we've never seen before.
Hawaii has some very unique and exotic plants and flowers and is that
and chainsaws, yeah. You gotta keep it clean. Wow.
I wish one could go.
Yeah, look at the pod they start in.
So Hawaii can be very expensive for excursions, and especially when you have a family. So anytime that you can find beautiful, fun things to do that's free and educational and something everybody enjoys, like, yeah, you cannot beat the scenery here. The mountains, do you see that behind me? That's incredible.
I found a what? An almost translucent leaf?
Yeah, they have these
I didn't
in.
even know that word.
They also have these in the Amazon, but you can see my fingers under it, which I think is really
That's pretty cool.
Sure.
I actually didn't pack like a fancy nice dress, although Hensley said I looked like a maid. She's like, I love your dress, you look like a maid. I'm like, thanks, that's what I was going for. But what is a really cool thing you can do, we went over to Goodwill and we picked out some like fun stuff. We were looking for like some Hawaiian shirts or dresses, and found this at Goodwill. Got the kids some toys there, because that's just an inexpensive way to get them some toys for the Airbnb, and then when we head to the next island, we can just redonate it.
Look at all those fish.
That's the color in the water.
You see
That's
it?
not the
Yeah, you
shore
think that's the
sand.
water, but that's the fish. It's like we landed in another world, isn't it? That's what we love. Wow, look at all these. That's crazy.
I think they're nervous, but Jillian.
Oh, Hensley, you gotta feed the baby ducks?
That's awesome.
Does it get any better than that?
No, you're fine. They like it. You want to give it to them? Ready? Go. Yum, 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 yum. Ready? What about these in the back? Say, what about me? What about me?
Look at that. It's like we're in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs or something? I think it's, isn't that crazy? Yeah, Jurassic World. Okay, yeah, that's a real person next to the pond. Lick it, see if it tastes like cinnamon.
That's gross.
Does it taste like cinnamon if you lick it?
It dry out to be edible, I think.
Does it taste like cinnamon?
It's gross.
Anytime I see a trail that's going up, I'm always all about that, because I know going up means you're going to get views like this. This is awesome. It's so beautiful.
That's where we were earlier down there. And here's the view of the water. Look at that, Hensley. Look at that tree.
What is that?
Is it called the dreadlock tree, maybe?
You're just making stuff.
Do with wasp. Like, the
That
name of it included wasp in it.
After doing this video today, I'm sitting here thinking, man, if we'd only done these free things, like we could leave Hawaii feeling like we had an epic time. I really do. Head to a beach, do an awesome hike, visit Pearl Harbor, go to the temple, do a botanical garden. Like, you've gotten so much diversity. You have learned so much about the culture. You have experienced Hawaii in a way that a lot of the locals do, a lot of this stuff too. It does not have to be a bank-breaking, once-in-a-lifetime, as in once in a lifetime, because once you do it, you have no more money for the rest of your life type of experience. Because we want you guys to experience Hawaii. We don't want this to be, oh, but I could never go there. And there are definitely other parts of Hawaii that will cost you some money, but you can balance it out. You know, with the flights and the food and the, what, $10, pay $10 for coconuts. I mean, it's like, what's the profit margin on that?
We emphasize, even in the RV life, you can spend as little or as much as you like. And so that's exactly how it is. Even in Hawaii, you can spend a ton of money, or you can check out a lot of these free and budget-friendly options and still have an amazing time and a great experience in Hawaii.
So those are our 5 free and almost free things to do in Hawaii. If you want to check out and catch up on our journey here in Hawaii, we will include the playlist for that, around 6-ish videos, so not super long. So our next video, we're gonna start RVing Hawaii. And we cannot wait to show you guys.
Did you know you could RV Hawaii?
We're gonna be RVing Hawaii.
Yeah.
Well, that's our adventure for today. Until next video, catch you guys later.